The 105th PGA Championship was decided on Sunday with Brooks Kopeka taking home the hardware. New York Post sports columnist Mark Cannizzaro, he covered the tournament from Oak Hill this past weekend, and he joins me now. Mark, how's it going?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Dex?
I'm doing good. Know you always love covering the golf, and it was a good one this weekend where Brooks Kopeka, he's the first LIV golfer to win a major. What does this victory mean for Kopeka and his Ryder Cup chances?
Well, this is a fascinating subplot to what took place on Sunday at Oak Hill, Dex. The obviously as our listeners and viewers probably know, there's a war essentially between the PGA Tour and LIV Golf, and all the LIV players have been banned by the PGA Tour. Now, the PGA of America, which runs the PGA Championship, which we just watched, is not it's not the same as the PGA Tour, so they allow the LIV players to play. Now, the PGA Championship is part of a PGA Tour schedule, so subsequently, Koepka winning yesterday gained him a ton of Ryder Cup points, has elevated him into the top 6 in the Ryder Cup standings for the U.S. players, and the top 6 automatically get spots on that Ryder Cup team. The Ryder Cup, of course, is in late September in Italy. So this is a fascinating dynamic. Zach Johnson is the Ryder Cup captain for the U.S. and was extremely evasive with reporters like myself this week when asking about the whole LIV dynamic. Even yesterday, when we were speaking to him, and this is before Brooks won. Brooks was still just about to tee off earlier in the day, but yeah, he had a one-shot lead. He just posted 2 fantastic rounds at Oak Hill. And even then, Zach Johnson was just didn't want to talk about it. So there's a lot of uncomfortability factor there, and it's just I think at this point, I don't think I can see Zach Johnson picking one of the LIV players as one of his 6 captains picks, but I don't think he'll have any choice but to have Brooks on the team if he's in that top 6 in points.
All right, we'll see how that all plays out. It's going to be rather interesting. That was a hugely disappointing day for Viktor Hovland. He was hanging at the top with Koepka, but then it all fell apart. What happened with him, and could you see Hovland getting a big win sometime soon?
I do see it somewhere down the line. He's just too good of a player. He's an amazing ball striker. He really led the field in approach to the green and whatnot, which is an illustration of how well you strike the ball. Viktor was really a victim of maybe one of the worst bad luck situations in major championship history. On the 16th hole, he was 1 shot back and had a shot out of a fairway bunker, and he hit it right into the bank of the bunker, a grassy bank, and had to take a relief drop out of that, which cost him a stroke. It had to punch out, and then it ended up being a double bogey, and Brooks ended up birdieing that hole. So it was went from a 1-shot lead to a 4-shot lead with 2 holes to play. That was really a shame for that to happen. And the bottom line is, what I saw out of Viktor Hovland this week and have been seeing is a guy that has improved on his weaknesses. He always was an amazing ball striker, as I said, but his short game and his putting, particularly his chipping, was always a bit, suspect by his own admission. And he's been searching and trying out new instructors. Well, his short game was terrific this week. It was absolutely well enough to win the Wanamaker Trophy, as the winner of the PGA Championship. So I do think that because this is now his last 3 major championships, he's been inside the top 10. He's got a 4th place finish at the British Open, a 7th place at the Masters last month, and now this runner-up. So clear, and he's only 25 years old. So this is a guy that I will be surprised if he does not win a major championship sometime down the line.
Yeah, right there with some close finishes. Should be able to get it done at some point. And lastly here, Mark, one of the cooler storylines from this weekend was the performance of Michael Block, who was one of only 20 club pros in the 156-player field to make the cut. It became even more surreal for him once he sunk a hole-in-one on the 15th hole on Sunday. How rare was his performance? And for you, being there, what was it like to witness?
Well, it was rare, and to witness it was special. I mean, and not even just the hole-in-one yesterday, but the entire balance of the week. This guy, I would make the argument that this PGA Championship will be remembered as much for what Michael Block did as for Brooks Kopeka winning the major championship himself, a 5th career major and a 3rd PGA Championship. Michael Block was an absolute breath of fresh air. He was the classic everyman guy that everybody relates to. I thought he beautifully straddled the line for a guy who was extremely, if you could use the word overexposed, because he was such an amazing story. Everybody wanted a piece of him. Everyone wanted to talk to him. He was on every TV show. He spoke to every one of us as reporters in the print, but yet he hit that exposure did not make it kind of like, oh, we've seen too much of Michael Block. And we all wanted more of Michael Block because of just the way he embraced the whole situation and how humble he was, and really just how surprised he was to be in the moment. And when that hole-in-one came yesterday afternoon, I mean, you'll be hard pressed to hear a roar that loud from a golf a crowd anywhere, any place. It was the loudest roar you heard all week this week, and that includes when Koepka won the tournament. So it was just a cool moment. It was rare. I mean, these PGA Tour pros don't often make the cut. Most of the time they don't. And let alone now, a guy that actually was in contention on Sunday. I mean, he entered the day tied for ninth on Sunday and ended up being tied for 15th, which got him an invite automatically into next year's PGA. And one more point on this, Dex, is his largest paycheck ever as a golfer in a tournament was for $75,000 for a huge big California Club Pro event, or a huge National Club Pro event. I'm sorry. He won almost $300,000 yesterday for what he did this week. So I mean, it was life-changing for him. It really was.
Yeah, nice to see life-changing quite the come up there. Fans enjoyed it. Great moment for golf. Great moment for him as well. We'll see what he can do as he continues his play. That is Mark Cannizzaro, New York Post sports columnist, always with the great insight on golf. Mark, good to see you. Thank you for checking in.
Good talking to you, Dex. Take care.